Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the very first episode of the Jamie Bolam Podcast. I've made this podcast to talk to interesting, exciting, and inspiring people about the things that I find most interesting, exciting, and inspiring. Very original and creative, I know. My guest today is my very good friend, Nic Alvanis. When I decided I wanted to try my hand at podcasting, Nic was one of the first people that I wanted to have on. He is an absolutely incredible guy. His thirst and passion for life is truly inspiring, and he makes me want to become a better and stronger version of myself. We only met this past year, but in that short time we've formed a bromance to rival all others. Now, not only is Nic incredibly sound, he competes in the elite echelons of the calisthenics world, competing at numerous competitions both in the UK and internationally, having recently become world streetlifting champion in his weight category, which is just absolutely nuts. And he's done, I think, 5 competitions this year, which is absolutely fantastic. A lot of them of which he has done some big travelling for. He's also keen at budding salsa and bachata dancer like myself, and he's a fantastic cello player and pianist to boot. Nic currently studies international business with French at the University of Exeter and will be leading our beloved Calisthenics Society as our new president of 2022 to 2023. Now, if you haven't heard of calisthenics before, you soon will. Fear not. Listen on to find out about the world of elite calisthenics, what it's like being surrounded by Greek gods on the daily, why we all need to face rejection and stick out like a sore thumb, how to identify a good friend, our thoughts on modern dating culture, and much, much more. If you enjoy this episode, please follow me on your favourite streaming platforms for more. So you don't miss out on anything due to algorithm madness, I've made a free email newsletter that you can sign up to at jamiebolam.substack.com. I hate spam and much prefer speaking to writing, so as of now, the only intentions I have with the newsletter is to alert you guys to when an exciting new episode is being released and who is slated to come on the podcast in the future. I might add some other bits, like what music I've been listening to lately, but I'm taking this one step at a time and I'm a busy guy, so there won't be anything too crazy on there just yet. You can also follow me on Instagram at jamie.a.bolam. Like the newsletter, I will just use this page to share updates on the podcast, but might also share some calisthenics, some Latin dancing, basically anything that looks super cool, treating it like a public PR page for myself. So I would love it if you would give me a cheeky follow on there as well. Ladies and gentlemen, on with the show. I now present to you Nic Alvanis. Okay, we're recording. Nic, welcome to the show.
Hi, Jamie.
Hello. Nice. This is the first podcast, so yeah, we'll see how it goes. But
Okay,
we'll lean a bit. Okay. I can do an introduction later on as well. Do you want to quickly introduce yourself?
Yeah. So my name's Nic Alvanis. I am on the CalSoc with Jamie.
What's CalSoc?
CalSoc is Calisthenics Society.
What's calisthenics?
Calisthenics is body weight, a sport based around body weight. It's kind of like a mixture between gymnastics and bodybuilding. I'd say that's how I'd like to put it.
Oh yeah. Okay.
How would you define it?
I'd just say like body weight exercise.
Exercise. Yeah.
I'd say more like street workout stuff, but literally like doing a push-up is calisthenics. Doing a sit-up in your room is calisthenics. Like literally just any body weight exercise. I'd say, but obviously you're involved in more like the sporting, competitive aspect. As well.
Yeah, we'll definitely go into that for sure. But
yeah.
that's what's the sports based around, and been doing it for a few years now, about 5 years, and obviously in the society with Jamie, who is ex-president and now currently.
I'm currently vice president. About to leave. But so just to clarify, we're both at Exeter University. I'm in my 4th year. I'm about to graduate. Nick's in his 1st year. So we both are in Calisthenics Society. I took over presidency in my 2nd year. I'm vice president now. Nic has been our freshers rep this year, one of 3, and is our incoming president as well. And we were actually shitting ourselves when you messaged the Instagram page like over summer, or like Freddie, he's our president now, like showed it to our current committee chat, and he was like, holy shit, like, because obviously you're way stronger than all of us, we were like shitting ourselves, we thought you'd come and see the society and be like, oh, pathetic. But
no.
Just to clarify, the society, we just loads of like free street workout like stuff. Like we'll cater to any skill level. Like you know, we basically we just do free workouts together, like push-ups and pull-ups and squats and whatever else, just by the exercise bars outside uni. So yeah, that's pretty much what we do. We're just friends who exercise together. We're very wholesome.
So it's been such a good committee this year. Like as Megan said earlier, one of our friends, Megan, typed on the Calisthenics WhatsApp chat earlier a thank you message to this current society. And it's been so good, seriously. Like, to be fair, you guys deserve like so much more recognition. I feel like you guys don't get as many thank yous as you should.
Oh, thank you.
Is that true?
No, I don't know. I think I've gotten a fair few thanks, but I guess it depends what you mean. But no, like we've grown a lot this year. So it's been sick. Like for our Freshers Week, like previously in my year, like a presidency, the most people we had at a workout before was like 30, and that was already quite a stretch because there's only like one monkey bars and one dip bars that we really use. Bless you. Yeah, one set of dip bars. But yeah, in our Freshers Week this year, we had like 55 or 56 people come, which was just nuts.
Remember,
we were literally shitting ourselves. Like
it's crazy.
But yeah, okay. I guess we're getting competitive side. Like if you compete in calisthenics, like I feel like that's like the elite echelons of it. You know, most people just do pull-ups and want to get to a muscle up in the gym eventually. Like so what competing do you do?
Well, you're next then, but I do freestyle and streetlifting.
Yeah.
So I've done.
What's the difference?
So freestyle calisthenics is more like gymnastic side of it. I'd say it's like the spins on the bars, and it's made up of dynamics and statics. So obviously static moves are when you're still, and they are holds, usually isolation holds. So moves like the planche, front levers, handstands, stuff like that. Dynamics are more like spinny stuff like 360s, 720s, 900s. But so that's a freestyle part. I started off doing that. That's how I began. And then over time, or particularly when I came to uni, since there weren't like the bars I was used to, I was kind of like, oh, you know what? New start of uni, good time to do something else, like try something new. Yeah. So I took up streetlifting, which is basically the fundamental calisthenics movements like pull-ups and push-ups and dips, but with extra weight on you. And then you can use that weight to train endurance or train for a 1 rep max or however you really please. So
so would you say it's basically powerlifting but for calisthenics, right?
I'd say it's the powerlifting calisthenics,
Definitely. So for powerlifting, for anyone who doesn't know, like you have basically a powerlifting competition. You'll go for your maximum bench press, your maximum squat, and your maximum deadlift.
Yeah.
And then you have all of those weights individually, but then you add it up to a total, and then whoever has the biggest weights for that, your weight category, I guess, is the winner.
Yeah.
So it's the same with streetlifting. What is weighted dips, weighted pull-ups, and there's no real like training in calisthenics besides pistol squat. So they just do a regular barbell squat still.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Now there'll be a squat now and then, but like low key, all the big comps just take the squat out because
yeah, we don't really do legs in calisthenics.
No.
Would you like to address that quickly? Like, what's your philosophy as a calisthenics athlete? Like, what's your philosophy on legs?
No, I support leg training. I think because leg
yeah.
Because it helps with hip engagement in the planche. But like, I mean, who the fuck's gonna do that?
It's gonna weigh you down.
Yeah, who's gonna do like 2 legs a week just so they can tense their legs in the planche? Like, come on.
Yeah,
it's a bit long if you ask me. But no, I support leg training.
Yeah,
I train legs twice a week. So
okay.
I mean, the football. We played football yesterday, and that my leg did dead this morning. I don't know about yours.
Oh really? My legs are just dead from climbing Ben Nevis on Sunday.
Oh, so damn the flex there.
Yeah.
Play football.
But no.
BTW just climb Mount Everest.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Nice. Man.
Yeah.
So how did you get into calisthenics in the first place?
So I got into calisthenics. I walked into a gym actually when I was younger, and basically I was told that I was too young and too small to use the equipment.
That's peak.
So
it's like a villain origin story.
That's
how you become like the Joker. Like.
But then I took up calisthenics. So I tried to do as much as I could at home. And long story short, I didn't stop there. I started with a couple mates, Dylan and Demi.
Mm-hmm.
We kept going, and then we didn't stop. How about you? How did you get into Cali?
I got into Cali, I think, when I was like 12 or something, or like 11. Like, you know, everyone's just obsessed with getting buff, and I remember seeing 6-pack shortcuts videos. You know, like OG, like Mike Chang, shout out.
I hate those ones.
Oh man. So anyways, I had a short exercise spurt then. Kind of just gave up. But then I started properly working out when I watched Game of Thrones when I was like 14 or something. And I saw like the Mountain, like Halfdan Bjornsson.
Oh yeah.
And I was inspired.
That's why you were supporting him at the fight.
Exactly. Okay. So So yeah, I originally started out, I was like, man, this guy's so cool. I started watching Liz a Strongman, and I started like, at first, like, I didn't have any weights or anything. I think my parents were like, like if you work out for a while, then, and you're dedicated to it, then we'll buy you some weights.
Mm-hmm.
So I just, every day I didn't know how to work out. I just do push-ups, like one set of max push-ups every day, or it'd be max squats.
Classic push-ups before bed.
Exactly, yeah. And then I'd rotate around like push-ups, abs, like legs, like every day. And then eventually I got a little weight set, and then I started going into more weightlifting. And I did a bit of like calisthenics, but not too much. I did a bit at my start of my gym career when I started going to gym in sixth form when I was like 16. Just like dragon flags and stuff. But I just found it too. I guess I found it too difficult, and nobody really did it. So I kind of just went into more conventional weightlifting. I was always getting injured and stuff, but then when I came to uni, I saw there was a calisthenics society, and I was like, oh shit, like sign me up, And then I just like really enjoyed it. I just really wanted to get a muscle up.
So did you not enjoy the gym like when you tried it out? Is that why you sticked up Cali?
I did love it. That's like my social club. Like every day I'd try and make a new friend, and like I really loved the gym. That was like my sanctuary at school. But I was known as a gym lad actually. I was quite chuffed because I'd always like 3-4 times a week, like always gym after school.
What type of gym was it? Was it like powerlifting stuff, or was it like more like actual weightlifting? Like
I did more powerlifting stuff, I guess.
Okay.
But I mean, it takes me ages to make any progress. But yeah. But I was torn between powerlifting or calisthenics when I came to uni. But I thought there's loads of powerlifters everywhere, but I've never found another calisthenics society. So and then I just stuck with that, and then I got involved, and I got my first muscle up before Christmas, and that was it. So.
So is that how you met Freddie?
Yeah,
the current president of
so he was president. No, so I was president in my second year, and then he joined because he's a year below me.
Yeah.
So he was one of my underlings, and and yeah, but man, he's a beef cake though. So yeah. But yeah, no. What do you like about calisthenics, anyways?
What do I like about it? Well, I like.
Why'd you do it?
I do because I guess it's the same reason why I gym as well. But like, it's really just that. Like exercising my discipline and just trying my best to do stuff like even when I don't want to do it. So calisthenics has taught me how to do that, and that's obviously like I've been able to transfer that into other parts of my life, like of course studying and other stuff. I'm sure you feel the same way. Well, or maybe you already had that discipline before Cali, but
no, I think the gym helps you with discipline, helps you with planning, and like you have your battle plan about how to get buff. But I think it's all in service of becoming like the best possible version of yourself. Like you want to die knowing that you've become the best version of yourself you can. And that you've done your best. I think most guys, at least a lot, like your motivation when you first start working out is like, I want to be able to attract women. Like, let's be honest. Like,
I mean,
but like, you see like stuff on the bars. You saw these crazy videos, and you're like, you want to be that guy that everyone's looking at doing muscle ups in the gym.
There is a bit of an exhibitionist nature to it. That
I guess.
Like,
but it is just cool as well. But I think it's just like, who doesn't want to be buff? Like, and being strong helps you in all facets of your life. And I think it is a discipline, and you're just being healthy in general. Like, there's no bad reason to start working out, in my opinion. Even if you start with like, just wanting to get girls or, whatever, like any reason is a good enough reason to start. And then as you keep going, you get more and more reasons. But you'll start working out as a guy, normally, let's say your original motivation is to, get some compliments from girls, and like you're going to get more compliments from guys. Like I guarantee you.
100%.
All the homies will be calling you extra juicy. But it's good. It's really lovely.
I feel like it's better though, because then if it's like that way, then it trains you to appreciate the sport just for like the internal gratification.
Oh, absolutely.
In fact, if I did get like more compliments from girls at the time when I was younger,
you probably
I probably would have actually enjoyed the sport for the wrong reasons and then given it up later on.
No, exactly, because then you're not enjoying the sport for the sport itself.
No.
Yeah.
I've heard actually the saying, I think one of my friends said the other day, I was having a chat about it with another mate yesterday, but the saying like, oh, everyone's going to end up in their grave anyway. What's the point of doing stuff? Like, basically in your life. Like, what I think is a load of codswallop. What do you think? Yeah.
I think that's dumb. Like, I mean, if you're going to think like that, just like, yeah,
Just
get
die.
in the bin. Just
Like-
die. Like, yeah, no, like make the biggest dent on the planet possible. Like, but just know that you've done your best. Like, you know,
Yeah.
Because if you're gonna die anyways, like, make sure you don't have any regrets. And just going into death, like, I think a lot of people don't think about death enough. Like, I think you should think about
Whoa.
dying every day, because like people are so caught up in the wrong things. Like, if you think, like, you know, everyone assumes they're gonna die when they're 80, you know, surrounded by their loved ones in bed, but
Mhm.
like you could have a heart attack tonight, right, and die.
Oof, yeah.
You know, imagine if the doctor diagnosed you with ball cancer and you got like 3 months to live, right? Like, your outlook on life is going to change dramatically, and the
Yeah,
things you're
yeah.
going to do, you're not going to be spending time with the wrong people. You're not going to be chasing the wrong things. Like, you know, like your family could die tonight in a car crash, or just, you know, whatever. Like, have you told them you love them? Like, you know,
Here comes guilt tripping.
exactly. Like, so anyways, like, so you got to do your best to live the best life possible.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
like, know that, you know, let's say you get you know, a death sentence, or, you know, diagnosed, you're going to die in 2 weeks. Like, you know, can you say, like, yeah, you know, I've lived, you know,
I feel
I've done my
happy with what
best,
I've done.
you know.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to be there thinking what if, and I think
No.
that's the biggest tragedy.
I think that's what
really.
people should take from this podcast, then, just like think about death more.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's not about calisthenics. Yeah.
No, I completely agree though. I mean, that's, to be honest, I think it leads back to what we were talking about like a few weeks back. But like, yeah, I think I'd just be like severely bored if I didn't do anything anyway.
Yeah.
Because like I need to have purpose, and calisthenics. Back to your first question of what calisthenics like provides me, it just, like, as cheesy as it sounds, it gives me something to do. It gives me a purpose, and
Yeah.
it makes me feel like I'm doing something good.
Yeah,
So, yeah, being a good version of yourself is like exciting, and it's like entertaining. So,
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to see how far you can go.
Yeah.
You know, and do all this cool stuff. Nice. You work out in London. Like, that seems like obviously the calisthenics hub. You have all these cool bars. Well, I feel like everyone there just seems absolutely nuts and like redonkulously strong. What's it like
Oh,
being
yeah.
surrounded by so many just Herculean athletes?
Honestly, like, they're all marshmallows deep down. Like, you think it's scary, but like I mean, my brother Demi, he turned up like at the park for the first time with like glasses on and a polo shirt,
Yeah.
and like he used to wear jeans like the first year of training and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he always used to get made fun of because of it, basically.
Okay.
But like, you always think people are gonna be like, I guess, mean towards you because they're all, you know, so severely strong and like.
Yeah, they're all like Greek gods.
No, they're
like,
ridiculous, yeah.
Yeah.
And the levels just, well, I mean, the caliber is crazy in
Yeah,
London,
it is
as you'll
insane.
see when you come in the summer, hopefully.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
But like the fact that like they accepted like me and even my brother, even though we were like different at the time,
Yeah.
and just took you in,
Yeah.
and basically this whole like ideology, they take everyone in there, like. So I'd say that it's not really like what it seems. It's not
Yeah.
as scary as it seems.
No.
But it definitely does push you when you're surrounded by like sick people around you, like
Absolutely.
because you're seeing just crazy shit all the time.
Yeah.
So you just want to do more,
Mhm.
and then the only disadvantage I say is that you kind of, I guess you're susceptible to undermining your own level at times because you think like, oh, I'm not actually that good in
Yeah.
comparison to these ridiculous people.
Mm.
But when you go around the UK, and
Yeah.
like if I go to Scotland or something, or if you go to like, I don't know, even Exeter, and then like you realise that, you know, you should actually be happy with what you've done,
absolutely,
even
yeah.
though there are like bonkers people in London. But
Yeah.
yeah, you excited at the prospect of that, or
Oh mate, it sounds sick.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, just touching on that. Like, I mean, that's what social media does. Like, everyone's so depressed, like, because they're seeing these idealized versions of people's lives and all the super strongest people on the planet, and of course they're gonna compare themselves and feel shit. But this is like in Freshers Week when we had loads of new people. I'd say like explicitly, like, you know, don't compare yourself to anyone else. Like,
no.
there'll be people here who can do like, you know, a planche double backflip, like whatever, like loads of crazy stuff, you know, and you might just be here barely able to do a knee push up, but you know, like we've all been there, we've all never worked out before, like, you know, so take their success as an inspiration, like that you can do it too, but you know, never compare yourself to anyone else, just compare yourself to, you know, you from last year, you know, and
So having said that, would you
yeah.
say you aren't intimidated by the fact that there are like some crazy people at
I think
in
it's really
London?
cool. Like,
Yeah.
I just hope I can get to that level at one point, you know.
yeah.
Obviously, I mean,
For
like,
sure.
if you're an elite gymnast, like, literally all you do is train. Like, you just don't have a life outside of gym.
No.
And that's, you know, gymnastics, really. So you have to appreciate that there are sacrifices that come as well. That shouldn't turn you off if that's what you want to do. But that's like, say, elite gymnastics. Like, I think, you know, like when you see someone do a planche, like that's years of work, like guaranteed, you know.
Oh yeah.
You know, so
No
it's
shortcut.
not like they've done it instantly. You know, it's taken a lot of grafting. Like, so
That's the right type of grafting.
Yeah. Yeah. So just appreciate it for the art it is, I suppose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with what you're saying about sacrifices too, because like I feel like when you're working towards like something like Cali, the people around you can get annoyed at you for having to make those sacrifices. But
Or like what?
I don't know, like devoting time to training instead of like going out, for
Yeah.
example.
Mm.
I don't know if you can like empathize with that.
Not really, I guess, but maybe that's because I've always just put
Maybe
training
you've had
first.
some great people around you then.
Yeah, I
you
guess
just
so.
accepted that you have to do your thing and they're going to let you do your thing.
But no, I think that is something. I don't know if you've ever listened to the Modern Wisdom podcast. That's Chris Williamson. Funnily enough,
I haven't.
so he was on the first season of Love Island as a contestant, right? But he's now got his podcast. He's super like so insightful. He gets on all kinds of people like Jordan Peterson. He had Neil deGrasse Tyson on the other week. Like,
Really?
he's really good podcast.
Yeah.
And he says one of the things he doesn't like about British culture, because he grew up in like the north, I don't know, like Newcastle or somewhere, is like, he said, calls it tall poppy syndrome. So let's say you're walking through a field of poppies, right, and all of the poppies are the same height, but one's a bit taller, right? Which one are you going to pick?
The tall one, yeah.
Yeah, because it stands out, right?
Yeah.
So in the same way, he says like, he finds in the UK, if you're trying really hard at something and you're putting loads of effort in, a lot of people would be like, oh, that's cringe, mate, or they'll make fun of you, like, oh, that's gay, mate, like,
Yeah.
you know.
Hey, yeah.
They'll knock you down, and I think this is where you have to identify who's a good friend or not. Is like a good friend you can celebrate with, and they'll you know,
Yeah.
they'll back you up. Whereas somebody
Mm-hmm.
like, if you're excelling at something and a lot of people around you are just being lazy shits, or you know, they're not making any effort, then if they see you succeed and you come from the same area as them, then it makes them feel like, oh, you know, I could succeed as well, but why haven't I? You know, and then they have to introspect. So a lot of people just chop other people down,
Yeah.
and you try and, you know, make them stay in the shit rather than, you know, taking that as inspiration and trying to become better. And I think you see that a lot in, you know, especially school.
Oh, all
but,
the time.
you know,
yeah. Did you ever face that? What do you say? Like personally?
I don't know, maybe like just generally like in school, I guess, yeah. Or you're always scared to like try your best at something in case anyone's like, oh, you know, all that stuff, more stupid, or like. But I think with gym, I didn't have that because I don't know, I just thought it was really cool. Then everyone was like, oh, you know, oh, Jamie, you go gym, wow, how cool. So I never got that for the gym, to be fair. But if it was like, say something like, I don't know, moths, or I don't know, say if I like moths and collect, you know, like your brother
collects moths.
moth trapping, where you basically leave a light out overnight, see what moths are there in the morning, and you know, make a list basically of what species you get. Like,
or
people would definitely be like,
hopefully not though.
Hopefully not, yeah. But people would definitely be like, oh, you know, oh, that's weird. You're like, why'd you do that? Like, you know.
For real.
But then they're all just there being lazy shits. Like, you know, what are they doing? Watching Netflix for like 10 hours. They're not doing anything useful after school. Like, they're gonna, you know, yeah.
No lifers.
They'll have no life. And
no, I don't know.
They'll peak in secondary school. Like, they honestly will. Like, you know. So yeah, indulge your hobbies. Like, you know, even if people say they're weird. Like,
I got so much hate for starting Cali.
Did you?
Like, so I got a ridiculous amount.
I bet people are just jealous.
No,
guaranteed.
This is what I knew. Like, this has taught me so much now.
They're
Like,
just
even when I
freshened
started
by
new
you.
stuff, even when I was starting salsa at uni.
Oh really?
Yeah, I got like some of my friends going like, "Oh, that's so weird," and even some of the boys I was hanging around like
Oh,
to the
really?
gym would be like, "Oh, what the hell?" Like, that's like, so like, you know, quite a feminine thing to do.
Nah,
I was like,
mate.
You wait, like
Just you wait,
because you're not gonna be laughing in a few years. Like,
yeah.
like maybe now, because to be fair, right
When you're
now,
dancing with the salsa mummies.
No, I'm pretty blocky now still, but like,
No.
years time.
You've come on leaps and bounds.
Oh yeah, since I started, 100%. I mean, you're a different level. Like,
No, I'm not. Like
Jamie's sick at salsa. If anyone's watching this,
Should we do the salsa foray then? Okay, basically, yeah, we both got into salsa this year at uni, salsa dancing. That's been my dark horse of the year. I didn't think I'd. If you told me in September I'd be doing salsa dancing and like going to like the Oxford University salsa ball and like dancing for 10 hours straight, like
ridiculous.
I wouldn't believe you, but man, it's sick. Like, but it's a paired dance. Like for anyone, like, I mean, hopefully everyone knows what salsa is, but it's like a paired dancer. You know, you with a girl. Like, it's not like when people say they're dancing in a club, everyone's just bouncing around like a dummy, you know, just jumping on the spot. Like, but a partner dance is something beautiful. Like, you know, you create something more than, how do I say it, the sum of its parts, or like you create something better than just a guy and a girl dancing individually.
Yeah, there's a magnetism there,
you know,
that you're putting across. So.
But yeah, it's just great. So yeah, how did you get into it? Was it me and Megan?
I know I wanted to do it from the moment I stepped foot into uni.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I went into uni wanting to do salsa.
Nice.
But then Megan actually, I will admit, Megan did like boost.
Yeah.
And it kind of catalyzed like me joining.
Okay.
So, because Megan, I would openly admit that I was a bit worried about like being one guy on his own. Just
that's what you think about salsa.
Because you want to be that creepy guy.
No.
But like then I realised that you're not going to be creepy, and then Megan joined. And
you do get creeps there, but
you do.
You know, they're normally like these fucking wrinkly ass dudes. Like, just don't be a creep, basically. Like, just everyone, just be a gentleman. But I mean, most people in Salsa are lovely. You know.
Oh yeah,
lovely,
obviously a couple that I've heard.
But I mean, I have had this old lady one time at some salsa party where like it was just in the class when like you go around, basically you swap partners every couple minutes and you'll practice the routine with everyone a couple times, and like, you know, at these salsa parties you'll have people who don't normally come, and there was this woman who's like 80 something, I don't know, and like, she paired up with me, you know, it's for part of the lesson, and as she looked at me, this is only audio, just imagine like the greasiest eyebrow wiggle was like,
God,
that you can think, and I was like no, stay back. But obviously I just didn't ask her for a social dance when it was social dancing, but but no, a bit like obviously there are creepy dudes there, but like most people are lovely, and like there are way more guys than you think as well. It's pretty
more
even.
Guys than girls at most times. Like most
exactly.
Havana nights there are more.
Yeah,
and it's like it always surprises me.
But no, it's good. I just got into it because my mate Lucia talked me into it, and like Remy and
No, but that's exactly like it's the same thing that like as soon as you do one thing that you like, it is kind of different in a way, and it makes you a bit of a sore thumb, stick out like a sore thumb. You can do something else that makes you stick out like a sore thumb. Like I know it sounds weird, but like I genuinely would not have wanted to do salsa if I hadn't done Cali before. I'd already been through hate and then been through the benefits after. Because I got people who were hating on me, asking me years later, "Oh, how do I get into it?" And it makes you think like, you know what, I can go through the same thing with salsa if I get hated on.
It just shows you who the people you don't want to hang out with are.
Exactly. And especially like a friend who's able to celebrate your success even if they're not involved in like what you do. Like if someone can like be like, I do kayaking, but I can respect that, you know, I enjoy and I'm happy for you being successful in Cali, you are a good friend. But as you said, there are too many people who let their jealousy like get out, and
they just I think it comes from insecurity. Really, they're insecure about themselves. I think that's what there's this guy Naval Ravikant. Have you heard of him?
No.
He's like some angel investor, like life guru, very cool dude. He's been on like Joe Rogan and like Tim Ferriss podcasts and stuff. And I think he said like, I think anger is like the mask of fear. So if someone's ever angry about something, deep down they're probably
scared,
fearful,
shit scared,
you know. Or like let's say you're walking down the street and you just pass someone, you think, oh man, like they're ugly or something. It's probably because you're insecure about your own looks. You know, things like that. So when people are ever negative, it's probably because they're shit scared about losing their, I don't know, you know, about you surpassing them basically.
Literally. And
you becoming top lobster.
But as soon as you realise that, you just get into so many different things. I mean, what do you do? What else do you do apart from salsa and Cali? You do a whole lot of stuff.
I did guitar for like 2 years. I've taken a break basically since September. I do a little bit still, but like since I've been at uni, I've been so busy.
What did you play?
Like country music basically, because I love country. I love Japanese music as well, like, you know, 80s pop and stuff, but Japanese music's much more like jazz influenced. So if you look up tabs online, they're all just nuts. Like I don't know any of those chords, but like country music suits me fine. But yeah, so I haven't done salsa's kind of like dancing has replaced guitar as my creative outlet now, basically. But I would like to do some more guitar in the future. What else? It's basically salsa and working out.
At the moment.
I love learning languages as well. So, you know, like I do Japanese at university. I did French at level. You do French as well at uni.
Do you love my languages as well?
And then I've done a bit of Mandarin. I've been trying to pick that up again, and I'm trying to speed learn Portuguese before going to Portugal. But yeah, I'd say those are my main hobbies, to be honest. And then
obviously you're like very academic as well. With
Yeah,
you got your biology and stuff as well.
biology. What else? I haven't done it for a while. I'd like hunt down people online that I think are cool and like basically get them on a call on Zoom or something for like
That's
half
what
an
you
hour.
got to do though. Yeah, you just got to network.
And it's been sick. Like the amount of people who will respond to you, like I mean, top class academics, like world leaders, like a lot of them are willing to have a call. If you think, if you just say like, oh, I think you're really cool. I've read your paper. Like, could I ask you some questions? Like, I've been on a call. There's this guy, Chris Helgen. He's like head of science at the Australian Museum. He was like at the Smithsonian beforehand. He's like basically a god tier expedition biologist. He's been on like expeditions to like over 50 countries, discovered like 50 mammal species or one of the two, 50 something, right? And he's discovered like dozens of mammal species and like it's just nuts, And I've had 2 calls with him and he's a sound guy,
Is it as easy as that sometimes?
Yeah, it is.
Like,
Yeah. People don't believe it, but
before I did Cali, I literally messaged like all the cool athletes and I would like pester them for like tips and stuff. And, like as you said, for a call as well, voice messages, and it just takes a bit of balls just to go and ask. Just get out there a bit.
Yeah, you have to face the fear of rejection, but people are too scared about rejection.
Same in dating, right?
Same with dating. I always slide into dating now.
No, cheeky.
Literally. I think that's the best thing. Like, I think especially guys especially need to get used to being rejected because in dating scenarios, you're normally the one like, you can say whatever you want about modern times, but like, guys, you still need to go and ask a girl like out.
Well, you're gonna have to.
You have to make the first move. And I don't think you should hide behind a phone either. Like, I think dating apps, they have their use. I mean, I know people who have met, lovely partners on, Tinder and stuff, but I personally don't like them. I've tried it before in second year. Cringe. I feel like you feel like a piece of meat on display because other people can see you, right? And then you'll see a girl give you a look and you're like, have they seen me online or something? And like, I felt like a fucking tin of baked beans on like the Sainsbury's shelf that people are walking past.
A bit more attractive than that,
Okay, extra special baked beans, but like, do you know what I mean? But I think so many people just shit. Obviously, like if you've never done it before, talking to a girl is like probably one of the scariest things you can do as a guy.
As well, your first time, I'd say.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like it is shit scary.
I mean, now
you get used to it.
I'd say now, I wouldn't think twice now.
Really, yeah, exactly. But it's a process you need to go through. But understandably,
what's the worst that's gonna happen?
A lot of guys just don't get past that first block, do they?
No.
Because it is shit scary. Like let's make no mistake. I think a lot of girls underestimate how scary it is. Like, when you've never asked to get a girl.
Yeah.
Because it is, but you get used to it, But I think the best thing is like knowing that even if you get shot down, like it's fine, Like not the first time I got shot down. I've been shot down loads, but like in second year, so my mate, so I gave a speech at Freedom Soccer my second year. I was on Andrew Yang, who's a US presidential candidate, and I was like basically why I thought he was cool. And he brought this girl along, basically like to my speech is like they were gonna go out for drinks later or something as a date. And I asked him like, oh, like how'd you guys meet? And he said they were at some like, he was just in her class. And then when they were walking out, she was walking with his friend. She was walking with her friend, and he basically, in the presence of her friend, like, basically asked her out, and they sorted out a date. And I thought that was like such a, a Giga Chad move, to ask someone out even in the presence of their friend. I was like, I was inspired. So then, later on, I saw a girl that I thought was really cute in like the library or something, and I said to myself like, I'm not leaving this room until I've asked her out. So I was there, like, I'd finished my work and I was waiting for like half an hour, literally just there shitting myself, fumbled my way, basically it got shot down horribly, but like, I was still so proud that I'd actually done it. Yeah, I left that room beaming, like, I was so happy that I'd done it and that I'd mustered the courage to do it.
No, it's the exact same principle of not being afraid to stick out like a sore thumb.
Exactly.
Like, it goes for literally everything in life. Like, just doing shit and not giving any care about any of the repercussions.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And like people often like, they'll say like, oh, but good on you for asking, or like that I'm really flattered, or like, even
like they'll be
friends,
like, oh, like no other person's like come up to me.
No, exactly. Like you're literally like, I don't want to sound big-headed, but you'll literally make people's days. Like, you can tell that even if they shoot you down, you can tell if someone's flattered, like genuinely. If someone came up to you and said, Nick, like, I think you're really cool, you seem really lovely, like, can I get your Instagram or something?
Their boldness.
Exactly, like, even if you're not interested in them, you're going to feel good about yourself, you know. And, you know, let's say that their friends are around, or your friends are around, and you get asked out, like, they, you know, a lot of them will be like, oh, you know, good on you. Or the people around you will be like, oh my God, you know, that was so smooth, or like, you know, that took guts, like, you know. So people, if they ever shoot you down, not if they shoot you down, if other people shit on you, it's just because they're jealous and insecure, like we said again, you know. So it all comes back to sticking out.
All comes back to that, and also like,
you know,
all successful people have been through stages of basically being rejected.
Yeah.
Whether it be the classic dropping out of high school story and then becoming, you know, a billionaire, or another form. There's always those like peaks and troughs, and like basically just getting up from that.
Yeah.
So yeah, rejection is such a sick thing. This is a bit of a controversial thing, but I don't like dating culture at all.
No.
I don't like the idea that you have to go up to someone and say, you're attractive, like I'm gonna initiate on you. Because in my experience, what I like to be friends with someone first, and this is why I don't like dating apps as well, like you, but probably also for a different reason, just because I don't like the idea of let's start with the attraction, then let's get to know each other as friends. I prefer let's see if we're compatible friendly wise, then if we're both attractive people, we're both attracted to each other, then we can maybe escalate it. So that's how I like to work through it. I like to go first,
I think that's generally
first
better.
friends, then attraction. If you go attraction first and you see a girl on the street and you're like, oh, she's attractive, and then her personality just lets you down, then you basically it's kind of a waste in a way.
Exactly.
Whereas if you're friends with people already and you've got like
that's the soundest base for a relationship.
Yeah.
Because then you know that even if there's no lust involved, you're still gonna be good friends.
And you always have that to fall back on. If if attraction kind of like wears off, let's say like, well, obviously everyone wrinkles and ages, and if you have the friendship to fall back on, then your personalities will stay attracted to each other. Of course, that's not to say it can't happen the other way around. Like you can find someone physically attractive and then be like, oh, they've also got a nice personality that's also attractive. But I feel like the second aspect is rarer. Like an attractive personality, or like one that you would like, that would be like girlfriend material or relationship material, is rare in my opinion. I'd say probably it stems from my high standards as well, and like just pickiness really.
I think you should be picky, like in the sense of like you're literally trying to find a life partner to have kids with. Like, if you're not going to be picky about that, like,
well then that should come first. In terms of like who would have a nice personality that I'd deem kind of good enough for a relationship, probably like 1 in 200, like odds on. So why are we putting physical before in dating culture? Put the personality before. Like it just doesn't make any sense in my head. But
no, I get you. I was listening to a podcast about this yesterday as well. With it was on the Modern Wisdom one with something Davidovitz, I think. It's like this data analysis dude who just wrote this book called Don't Trust Your Gut, where he's basically gone through all the data and studies to say like, you know, how do you live a good life? Like, what are the most important determinants of like relationship success, whatever. And you know, it's not a physical attractiveness or anything. You know, it's being like a nice person, like having a nice personality, not being a fucking psycho, like, you know. So you're exactly right. Like they were saying, there's a big dissonance between these arbitrary things that people care about when they're looking for a date, like, you know, or a partner. Like, you know, obviously you should be attracted to them, but like, you know, oh, are they over 6 foot? Or like, you know, any of this dumb, like, basically personality is much more important, you know. Like, can you be happy by yourself? Like, can you celebrate other people's success? You know, would they be a good parent? You know, you might have someone who's very good fun, but they might be a shit parent. You might know it deep down. Like, you know, you probably don't want to wife them up. Like, you know. So
it's better to scout that out before you...
Do they have a good sense of humour? You know, can you have a mature conversation, you know, about things? Because a lot of people, like...
Can they be independent while you're independent? Can they... Yeah.
Exactly, you know.
Give you a space in that.
Exactly. So yeah, no, I agree. Personality over... Or it is... Yeah, people need to put more emphasis on that. You know, it's not just about how attractive someone is.
No.
Although, you know, I mean, there's much more like hookup culture these days. I disagree with it as well, you know. But...
What do you disagree with hookup culture?
I just feel like... I don't know.
It doesn't appeal to you?
No, it doesn't. You know, like... Yeah, I don't know, it just doesn't really appeal.
No.
But like,
I agree.
you know, like you say, like, sex is sacred, like, you know.
100%.
You want to do it. You don't want to do it with anyone, like,
no.
You know. Have your high standards, like, and also literally, like, that's what babies are made from, like, so I feel like you've got to treat that with respect.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? People just don't, people see it as a fun activity first, and then, oops, you know, I'm pregnant, but I'm like, That's literally the whole point of sex, is to have babies. So like, you know, if you get pregnant, like, you know, just be in mind of the consequences, you know. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to get into like any abortion topics today, but maybe we can do that another time.
But I agree with what you're saying. Like even relating back to the conversation we were having a few weeks ago about, you know, do you remember when we were on the way to fishing and you were talking about like basically living like we were meant to live as humans.
Yeah.
And for example, how we're as humans we're overexposed to like, I don't know, female nudity. Because of porn
online.
And stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But it goes back to the same thing with hookup culture, because as like intrinsically we are not meant to have more sex.
Yeah.
Well,
sex is a dangerous thing, evolutionary speaking. Like, you know, you could die in childbirth. STDs are a real thing. You know,
exactly. Yeah.
That's why like sleeping around was discouraged, because you'd literally get like gonorrhea and die. Like, you know.
Back in the day, yeah.
Back in the day,
yeah.
There we go, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed the first episode of the Jamie Bolam Podcast. Nick and I covered a bunch of topics. We had a ton of fun, and Nick will definitely be returning one day for another episode. We have a ton of stuff yet to talk about, and we barely scratched the surface of the calisthenics world. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to share it on your favourite social media, subscribe to my free newsletter at jamiebolam.substack.com, and follow me on Instagram at jamie.a.bolam. Thank you very much, and I will see you next time. And if you've listened to the end, you're an absolute legend. High five yourself for me.